Good morning. I hope you're doing well. Today is Monday, the 27th, but we're going to deviate slightly. It's based upon your schedule as well. Before we had been looking at the date, that's the chapter we've been looking at, Proverbs. But what we're going to do, we've already gone through Proverbs chapter number 27. So we're going to go to a chapter that we haven't done. This week's going to be a little bit different, at least Monday and Friday. We're going to look at Proverbs chapter number 4. Proverbs chapter number 4. We haven't gone through this one here, but we're looking at Proverbs 4. And don't forget a couple different announcements. First of all, you should be bringing all of your quizzes and tests in today. Bringing all your quizzes and tests today. They should be completed up to date. You have the lesson plan. And make sure you do that. And then what we'll do is we'll exchange and we'll give you all the quizzes and tests that you'll need to really to the rest of the year. So make sure you do that today. Swing by the school. I believe they're going to be open from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I believe that's the case. So make sure you come by and pick up your packet and pass off your packet as well. Right? Let's go ahead and look at Proverbs chapter number 4. Proverbs 4, if you notice, the structure of the chapter is a little bit it's a little bit more structured based on what we talked about before. We even looked at you can even see here a couple times where the chapter mentions my son, where he addresses his son directly. A couple of unique things in chapter number 4. We see at the beginning that really Solomon refers back to his father. Look at it in verse number 3. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. Does anybody remember the father of Solomon? Who was Solomon's father? Well, if you said David, you are correct. Does anybody remember Solomon's mother? If you said Bathsheba, you are correct. Solomon's parents were David and Bathsheba. And that kind of gives a little bit of a perspective, really, on this chapter. We see David, he was a man after God's own heart. But we saw that he was not perfect. And he realized why he wasn't, if you will, perfect, or if you will, he didn't always make the right decisions. And the reason being is, at least from his perspective, is he did not have the wisdom. And that's why he's pushing for Solomon to have. I want you to have wisdom. Notice what it says in verse 3. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words. Keep my commandments and live. And he goes on and says all this. Look at verse number 5. It says, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. And it talks about, hey, David is urging Solomon, I want you to get wisdom, strive for wisdom. And notice what verse number 7, if he didn't emphasize enough, wisdom is the principal thing, or if you will, the highest thing. Okay? It says, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. What he's saying is, I want you with all of your power and with all of your might and with everything that you have within you, I want you to strive after wisdom. I want you to get it. And this is David speaking to Solomon. And now Solomon is now relaying it to his own son. He's saying, hey, here are the words of your grandfather. You know all the mistakes that he made. You know all the things that he messed up in. Now I'm telling you these same words, and I want you to listen. He's emphasizing this. And what verses 8 and 9, what's cool about verses 8 and 9 is basically what Solomon or David is telling Solomon. It says, hey, you get wisdom, it's going to make you look good. Look at verse number 8. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Okay, she's going to make you look good. When you strive after wisdom, when you lift up wisdom, when you think wisdom is the principal thing and you go after it, it's the highest thing that you can possibly go after, you can attain, you're going to look good. She's going to make you look good. Okay, personification there a little bit. We see here that the consequences or the benefits, if you will, of getting wisdom, and that's found in verses 10 through 13. Verses 10 through 13. Let's move down to verses 14 through 18 and 19. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at, if you will, the path of the wicked. The path of the wicked. Look at verse number 14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked and go not in the way of evil men. Now, if this wasn't an exhortation, or if you will, this next verse, if it wasn't an instruction, or you didn't get the message, you aren't listening. Look what it says. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass it away. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 imperatives in that short little verse. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it. Right? And pass away. Don't go anywhere near wickedness. Don't touch it. Don't go near it. Don't look at it. Don't do anything. Don't have anything to do with wickedness. Okay? That's what the Bible's saying. Because you know what? The Bible and any other places say it's a snare. Meaning it's a trap. It's going to look good, but in the long run, it's going to bring consequences that you do not want. Okay? And notice what it says in verse number 16. For they sleep not. Who's they? Remember, pronouns, know what they're going towards. They is referring to the wicked. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. The wicked individuals are always looking for trouble. They're always looking to mess somebody up. They're always looking to tear somebody down. And honestly, they cannot sleep until they've done this. Until they've messed someone up. Until they've torn someone down. Until they make fun of someone. Until they make someone look stupid. That's what the wicked do. You want to make sure that you don't have these characteristics in your life. And you want to make sure that you aren't around individuals who have these characteristics in their lives. Because if you do, then what's going to happen is you are either wicked or you're going to end up wicked. You need to listen to what verse 15 says. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. Go as far away from it as possible. There are many examples found in the Old Testament as well as the New Testament of individuals who saw wickedness and they didn't want anything to do with it. They ran from it. Okay? Notice what it says, verse 18 in contrast to the wicked. But the path of the just is the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Verse 19, the way of the wicked is darkness, they know not at what they stumble. Notice the contrast between the just and wickedness. Just, people who are right, people who are doing what is right. Okay, the just, shining light. They know which direction they're going. They're able to see. And the more that they go towards wisdom, and the more that they are just, you know what? The shiner and the brighter it's going to be for them, and they're going to be able to see the path that's in front of them. But the wicked, they don't even know what they're stumbling at. They don't even know what they're tripping over, and they don't even care. Let's move down. Again, we see in verse number 20, my son. But there's a series of connections that I want you to see. Look at verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. I think this is a perfect verse to show that what stems from our heart is what's going to manifest, reveal itself in every aspect of our life. What we see in our heart is going to be seen in every single aspect of our life. Or what's in our heart is going to be shown, it's going to be manifest, it's going to be revealed. Okay? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. We've looked at that verse before. Here's another verse. Keep thy heart with all diligence, meaning guard it, protect it, keep. Make sure nothing penetrates. Make sure nothing goes into it that will mess it up. Keep thy heart with all diligence. Why? For out of it are the issues of life. Out of your heart, that's what's going to come out. Everything in life is going to be revealed what's in your heart. And notice what he's going to do. It says he's going to make a connection between what's in your heart and what you say, what you see, and where you go. Those are a big deal. What you say, that's a big deal. What you see, that's a big deal. And where you go, that's a big deal as well. Notice what it says. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Verse 24. Put away from thee a froward mouth. Remember, we talked about froward. Crooked, ungovernable. Someone who's constantly going against authority. Somebody who doesn't want to listen to what authority has to say. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. Okay? So don't have anything to do with those. Don't have anything to do with bucking against authority. Don't have anything to do with that. Notice what it says. That's what you say. Verse 25, what you see. Let thine eyes look right on, and thine eyelids look straight before thee. Don't look at the things of this world and be pulled in and be attracted to it by what is seen over to the left or what is seen to the right. You want to look straight ahead. Straight ahead. And really that straight ahead is found in the Word of God and ultimately found in the person of Jesus Christ. That's where you want to look. That's what you want to see. That's where you want to have your eyes fixed on. Peter, when he was walking on the water, he asked Jesus Christ if he could come out on the water. Jesus says, if thou wilt, you can come. And he did. Peter started walking on the water, and he started walking towards Christ. And what happened was everything was fine and dandy. And then what he did is he looked to the left, he looked to the right, and he saw the winds boisterous and the waves crashing. And what the Bible says is he began to sink. The reason being is because his eyes were not fixed on Christ. What they did is they began to turn to the left, turn to the right. That's what this is referring to right here. Make sure your eyes are straight. Make sure they're looking straight forward so that way you don't mess up. Verse 26, ponder. Okay, ponder the path of thy feet and let all thy ways be established. Make sure the direction that you're going or where you're going is the right direction. Okay. Well, I'm not just talking about. I'm talking about physically a physical path that we're referring to, but we're also talking about a life path that you're going on. Okay. I'm talking about the physical places that you go. Yes, you need to be mindful of where you go because there are certain places that are going to get you into trouble. But you also need to be mindful of the track that your life is going on, the path that your life is going on. Because if you don't follow the right path, what's going to happen is you're going to mess up your life. It's going to lead to destruction, as the book of Proverbs talks about. Notice what it says, verse 27, turn not to the right hand nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. Okay? That's where that exhortation. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it. Pass away. Get out of the way. That's going to lead you to evil. Lead to wickedness. Make sure you listen to wisdom. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. And with all that getting, get understanding. Meaning everything in your power. I want you to do this. This is David talking to Solomon. It gives us a couple kind words, a couple different things. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. And it's going to help you. It's going to benefit you. It's going to make sure you're on the right track. So that way you can watch what you say, you can watch what you see, and you can watch the path that you're going on. Not only the physical path, but also the life path that you're going on. Make sure you're going on the right track. Read through the book of Proverbs chapter number 4, 3 to 4 times so you can get the truths from it. Pick out a verse. Pick out a verse that you can think about all day. The one that jumps out at you. Read it through a couple different times and meditate on that so that way it can become a part of your heart and life and you can soon be on the track to being wise. Have a good day.